Well, we're here at Glasgow Airport, and the first flight as such, I think there was one yesterday, but the first flight with official recognition here today. You came to meet the Chief Minister. First Minister comes down. How important is the Isle of Man to you?
Well, this was the bigger plane today, this is an important reassertion of a direct link between Scotland and Isle of Man, and there's so many connections of people, connections of tourism, connections of business, and it's great to have that direct flight restored. So when the Chief Minister and I met in Douglas last year, and we decided, let's make this a priority to get this direct flight back before the Commonwealth Games, because we don't want the Manx team to use up all their energy going through Manchester. We want them direct into Glasgow so as to get the best possible start to their Commonwealth Games adventure. We decided, let's get it restored in time for the Commonwealth Games. That's what we've done. A political promise redeemed.
And there's a lot of work behind the scenes, I understand, your end as well as the Isle of Man. You did some things.
Well, both governments are working very hard together, and we've got good partners in City Wing, and I'm sure their flight's going to be a great success. We're aiming for 10,000 passengers in the first year, but we'll take it from there, because I think this is going to be a very, very popular route, and we've already got businesses between Glasgow and the Isle of Man who are, relishing the fact that they're going to save journey time, and lots of people, and for lots of things, for leisure, recreation, tourism, business, just that community between peoples, and a direct flight makes all the difference.
Okay, let's talk now about everything else. I mean, the Isle of Man, is it your model of what you're aiming for now come independence?
Well, I would say a model, but I admire the Isle of Man and other Crown dependencies. And I think it's quite useful for people in Scotland to recognise that the Isle of Man has more power over its own affairs than Scotland has. And people in Man recognise that and think, well, that's as it should be. But people in Scotland need to waken up to the fact that the Isle of Man is running very successfully a range of things. For example, hasn't sold off its post office at a knockdown price, to take one of today's stories, and a whole range of things. It's a bit of an advert for self-government, is it not? So, obviously we're not the same, because Scotland is looking for independence. We're not a Crown dependency. Scotland is a nation, but nonetheless, I think there's a lot to admire in the way the Isle of Man has run its own affairs.
Let's talk about the pound. I'm not going to hand it over to you or anything, but I just want to show you that's a Manx pound. Mm-hmm. Is that as parity with a UK pound? You've got some Scottish money there.
It's a Bank of Scotland one now.
We swap 20 for 1. I like it.
No, I'll just take that one and I'll get back to you.
But seriously, the Isle of Man's got this parity. Are you not using that as an example of how life does go on, even if you're not part of the union as such?
Well, it's quite interesting. Isle of Man runs effectively a currency board, a one-to-one relationship with sterling. The Scots notes that I've just shown you, but I'm putting back in my pocket, they are also in a one-to-one relationship. So this idea that this is a difficult thing to have, it's total nonsense. And it's really interesting that the No campaign been falling apart over the last few days as it's been revealed that government ministers actually say, yeah, there'll be a formal currency union after independence. All this is just a campaign bluff, a negotiating tactic. And some of the inherent contradictions, people who say, you can't do things, are usually surprised to find out that other people are already doing it. And of course Scotland would share sterling after independence.
Well, you keep saying surely, but they say no, maybe.
Well, they don't actually. You see, that was the story running in The Guardian, that they say no to the Scottish people. They say you can't do it, but it turns out behind the scenes that they're singing an entirely different tune. And of course, the day after the yes vote in September the 19th, they'll be singing an entirely different tune on a whole range of issues, of which the pound will be one.
One of the top dogs in the Isle of Man was basically putting this to me, that you've won whatever happens. Even if you don't get the independence, you're going to get more autonomy. You have won this, whatever happens. They're already doing it, aren't they? There is concessions coming left, right and centre.
I think we should, when you've got the opportunity to win the jackpot, then you should go for that. And on September the 18th, we've got the opportunity it is an opportunity, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to assert the independence of our country. And of course, there'll be a continuing relationship, not just with England, Wales, Northern Ireland, but with the Crown dependencies, all of our friends across these islands. The Isle of Man and Scotland are in the British-Irish Council. And in the British Irish Council at the present moment, there's two sovereign governments. That's the Irish government, the Westminster government. There are three devolved authorities and three Crown dependencies. Would it be so different if there were three sovereign governments, two devolved authorities and three Crown dependencies? We'd still be cooperating across these islands.
Big problem could be that you could be competition for the Isle of Man. You could be onshore, offshore.
Well, I have to say there's a lot to like about the Isle of Man's attitude to a range of things, but I never think about these things just as competition. You know, I think you can see business growth, as we're seeing today with PDMS. Cooperation leads to growth in both countries, and I think the Isle of Man and Scotland will show the way how cooperation can benefit. It is actually enlightened self-interest. Yes, it's in the best interest of Scotland, but I think we can make it work for everyone.